I'm going to be honest. This is a tough video to make. I feel beat. I I'm just at a point where I feel beat. I feel defeated. And, I've been wrestling with a lot of different emotions. I've been wrestling with a lot of different thoughts. And, for the most part, I'm a pretty positive person. I don't see myself as, a pessimistic or person who gets down on themselves. But, it's been a lot of mental gymnastics. And lately with the business, I'm kind of at a crossroads. I just feel really challenged with it. And my goal for today is just to kind of share where my headspace has been, where I'm kind of going in the future. And, it's very unsure if I'm being totally honest. I just hope that you'll bear with me. You'll listen a little bit. Everyone has short attention spans now, so I'm not cramming this into a little 30-second reel for TikTok or anything like that. I just want to be raw. I just want to share how it is and kind of set the intention of where I'm going in the future. And just know that, for me, it's important to be honest. It's important to kind of share where things have been. I've worked really hard to be a helpful person, and just put out content or things that help other people. And now I just want to kind of put out something that feels like it helps me. So, I'm really speaking to myself here, and I just feel like, the whole saying, like, the truth will set you free, I think is really important. So, most of you know me from JECP, writing the music video side of stuff, Myelin, the business film side of things. And I'm kind of in a tough spot right now where I feel like by the end of this year, one of those entities will still be around and the other one will probably go away, if not both of them. And maybe I'll just stick to freelancing. I've just kind of felt so challenged with so many things lately. And, I've went through almost this grieving process for the last year, since October of 2023, really. We've just seen a huge decline in the type of work that we bring on, and we've tried to add value. We tried to do all these things, and it just doesn't seem like anything's working. It doesn't seem like the market really wants our work. And I don't think this is like exclusive to us. I have a lot of creative friends that are in the same boat that have been so challenged by, the economy or just circumstance or just cheaper budgets or whatever the case may be. And I've tried to stay optimistic. I've tried to cling on to everything, but truthfully, there just hasn't been a lot to kind of cling on to other than my freelance career. And even that, has dwindled quite a bit. So I've just been sitting here and just kind of questioning a lot of things, trying to find solutions. And one thing I want to state, my intention here is like, I don't want poor me. I don't want this, it all comes down to me. Ownership. Like, I'm huge on that. And I believe, that everything that is a positive or a negative is directly correlated to me. Sure, there are outside forces. There are things that are piling up. I can empathize with that. I can understand that. I can see those sort of things. But honestly, I just feel beat, and I don't know that I have much more to give. When I started out with filmmaking, I love cinematography. It's fun, working with bands back in the day. It was a blast. Their passion was infectious. And all of that stuff just made this stuff, fun and exciting. And if I'm being honest, it hasn't been fun and exciting for a while. I know probably some of that's on me, but also in general, I just haven't felt super stoked. I like working with my friends. When I've set out to do all this, I just wanted to hang out with my friends. I wanted to make dope work, and like the bond and the memories, like that is the one thing I cling on to when I think about my career as a filmmaker. It's nice building relationships with clients, but so often it does feel transactional from their point of view, in the sense that they call me when they need something. I try to be here. I try to be helpful. But at the end of the day, I don't feel all that special or useful or like what I've set out to do with either of these brands has kind of communicated. Now, maybe I'm way off base. Maybe I'm just emotional here. which could be super true. But the one thing that I can lean into is like, I love making stuff with my friends. I love getting to work with my friends, but there hasn't been any opportunities. Since the pandemic, it just felt like a slow death. It's felt like we've just had to give up more and more, whether that be creativity, whether that be scaling back the crew, whether that be not getting to rent as many things and bring more tools into that. But I just haven't felt creative for a long time. And, I'm not saying I'm going to be done with filmmaking. If anything, I'm kind of feeling like, JECP, Myelin, maybe they have run their course. Maybe those things got to be done. And, who knows? I think about some of my favorite TV shows, and this feels like if this is the final season of the TV show, it's June right now. It's the tail end of June in 2024. I'm really kind of giving this thing a go until the tail end of the year. If we end up booking more clients and working on some jobs and have a substantial amount of work and I feel the pull for it, I might stick around. But honestly, with the trend of how this year's went and the tail end of last year, I just don't. It sounds amazing, at least right now, in my present state of mind, to just delete all these websites, to kill off the brands, and to just do passion projects, like whether it be documentaries, whether it be fun passion short films, and to either take a job with someone else or to just freelance on the side or to just totally take a huge pivot. I have no clue kind of what's in store. But what I think I want to do is I want to kind of have this final season, if it is the final season, to just share what I've loved about the process, to share the things that I've actually enjoyed. In creating these businesses, I tried so hard to make it easy to work with us, to really innovate and grow people, to like really become attached to projects, to give my all to these projects. And I just don't feel like I'm getting that energy back. And that has sucked. It's been hard to wrestle with that, when I spend a lot of time, just trying to bring the best to a situation only to hear that the budget's just too high and I got to scale it back down. And then when it gets scaled down and I accept this thing, it's like, well, it's not that creative. You guys don't do that creative work. And, all of that's valid. I don't think our work's all that creative at all anymore. If I look back to like 2019, before the pandemic, I do feel like we were working so much more often. We were on this upward trajectory, in terms of building a better business, taking care of our clients better, doing more creative things. Like, obviously, not every project is, knocking it out of the park. But boy, I mean, after the pandemic, and everything getting taken away for a little bit, like, I think there was a sense of gratitude for me of like, I'm just glad we're getting to play still, even though, we're not having the bigger crews anymore, we're doing smaller teams. It's just great to do this. I think the thing I miss the most is just getting to work with my friends. Every single time I have to be negotiated down. Oh, well, we got to cut this away. We got to cut that away. Like, we're just not reaching anymore. And maybe it's our fault. Maybe we just have cheapened the quality so much of what we've done. So I can admit it probably is our fault. It probably is my fault. Again, this ownership piece. I take full responsibility here. But at the same time, I can't push the emotions to the side and the frustrations to the side that, at the tail end of last year and the beginning of this year, I had so many quotes out that, just were like, can you do it cheaper? Can you do it cheaper? And it just got frustrating where I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do it cheaper, or I don't want to push this project off for 6 months down the road, or I don't want to put you on a 3-year payment plan to make this thing happen, In running this business, I've incurred so much debt. I have, just my gear sits on the shelves most months. Like, if I'm being totally honest, sure, some months we're a little busier than others, but if I'm being really, really honest, it feels like we're working 2 days out of the month. I might get to do a little bit more, on the freelancing side of stuff, but with JECP and Myelin, it's just, we're not meeting people, we're not growing. And maybe it's just that we're not doing great work. Maybe we're not as good of storytellers. I tried to give a shot with the YouTube side of stuff of like, let me just add more value. Let me dive in deep. Let me share what's inside my mind. And, that's fun. Like, I've learned a lot, read a lot of books. I practice a lot of things. I do feel proud of the business that I built. I think that it has a lot of potential, but at the same time, like, no one's taking advantage of it. And if they are taking advantage, it feels like they're taking advantage of the wrong things. So I've had a lot of defeating conversations. And I'm sure many creatives can relate with this. I'm seeing people get let go. I'm seeing people that I've looked up to for a long time in super challenging times. So I get that I'm not the only one. I'm not alone. I have a lot of these conversations. But at the same time, like, this business isn't doing what I set out to do. I didn't just set out to make beautiful music videos and tell compelling stories. As a business owner, I want to create jobs. I want to run a profitable business. I want to see progress. I want to provide for my family. I want to be around for my kids. I want to feel fulfilled in this. The only thing in my life that's truly frustrating right now is my business and my financial circumstance. I love my wife. We have an amazing relationship and we're closer now than ever. And I'm so grateful for that. Like, I love spending time with my kids. I love exercising and taking care of myself and pushing myself in that way. I spend so much time, having conversations with my friends, whether it's helping them, whether they're helping me, whether it's just bonding. We had a recent project come in that was decently well. And I was like, oh, wow, like, this is what it feels like to be a filmmaker again. And I think that is a big trigger for me right now because it's almost like false hope. It's what I remembered 5 years ago. And I've been clinging on to this false hope feeling for too long. Like, if I was working a normal job and I was just doing the math of these circumstances, it's all a net negative. Like I cling on to every little thing to be grateful, but I'm starting to feel like I'm lying to myself. I know I'm talented. I know I'm good at what I do. I'm pretty confident in saying that. When I talk to an artist or I'm talking to a brand, I ask good questions. I get really clear on what that is. I can see the potential. But I don't feel like anyone else sees the potential in their own projects. And it's really hard for me to bring more to the table than they bring to the table. It just wears me thin after a while. Going forward, I want to do some deep dives into some of my favorite projects, not from a marketing standpoint, not from a building the business standpoint, but just as kind of a celebration, in potentially saying goodbye to JECP, Myelin, or both of them. I'd like to dig myself out of debt. I'd like to leave this behind as almost a celebration and to really remind myself of what I built over time, the things that were beautiful, the things that I loved, to share a little bit of even the inner workings of the business and the things that were just really fun. I don't know who my audience is. Maybe my audience is me. And that's fine. I don't really care. I just want to look back and feel at peace when and if this is all said and done. And I'm tired of the pressures. Some of my clients have been amazing to me when I work with them, but I can sit here and say, I get more satisfaction out of cutting my grass every week than I do finishing a project anymore. And that's fucking annoying. I mean, it's just fucking annoying, if I'm being totally honest. I love that I can look at my lawn, as silly as this sounds, see that it's a mess, go out there and cut it, and have the satisfaction of, hey, it was a mess before and it's clean now. I get done with an edit and I export a video, and this has been the common theme. I don't hear from anyone for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 10 weeks, no communication. And then the communication I get is, here's a list of revisions, and I have no sense of whether we like the project or not. It just feels like everyone is using us and not appreciating us. And again, I get it. Everyone is entitled to these sort of things. This isn't everyone. Some people have been great, but there has been a large majority that just haven't felt appreciated. And that's okay. People are allowed to act. I'm sure a part of it is me. I'm sure I haven't been bringing my best self to the table each time. So I want to make it very clear. I don't want to feel like I'm pointing fingers. And I'm sorry if that's coming across. If you're watching this and you feel like I'm pointing fingers at you, if you're a past client or if you're someone in my network, I just feel like a failure anymore. Real deep dive here. I'm just gonna puke it all out. Like I've struggled to bring in crew. I get so many messages like, I'd love to work with you. Like, when's the next project? And that creates so much guilt. There's so many nights when I go to lay down, and I'm going to sleep and I'm waking up in stress and in panic because I feel like I'm letting everyone down. I feel like I'm letting my clients down. I feel like I'm letting my crew down. I feel like I built this fucking monster. I read books like crazy. I listen to podcasts like crazy. I try things out. I'm coming up with payment plans. I'm trying to make it easier to work with me. I've invested in all these tools. I've developed teams. I'm trying to always find efficiencies. I'm trying to over deliver, I'm just trying to literally be an ally for other people. I just feel like I set out to build this beautiful thing and it's just turned into a fucking monster. I mean, it breaks my heart a little bit, if I'm being totally honest. It's disappointing. I don't know where things are going to go. Things might turn around. I might be feeling totally different 6 months from now. And again, like, I'm a fairly positive person, but I'd be lying if I just continued to pretend like things are great. I always try to flip things and see the best in a situation, add value, and be this person that I feel like can help others. I love helping people, It's like an addiction. I want to add value and help wherever I can. And I think anyone likes to do that. It can be addictive, but I just feel beat. And I'm going to try my best to stay positive, to do my best, to see the best in every opportunity as I've been doing. But man, it is grim. It is grim out there right now. It's been so grim for me. And I just, the people who have believed in me, thank you. It means a ton. But I'm just going to try to do my best. I'm going to try to show up every single opportunity I get. But I'd say my patience is wearing thin. Like, me trying to be helpful for people all the time and go above and beyond and it be a net negative time and time again. I don't know how much longer I can do it. I just got to be honest. I can't sit here and pretend like everything's okay, because it isn't. So I guess I'm just going to be sharing things that I like. And if you want to join me, you can join me. If you got questions, this is probably the time to ask them. I'm willing to do a deep dive and just share what I know, because I don't know what I'm going to be doing in the future. I just know I'm going to try to do my best, take it day by day, try to be my best self. And yeah, I don't know. That's all I got. If you watched this long, thanks. Sure that there's some people out there that are, feeling like I've finally given up. I'm sure there are some people rooting against me. I'm sure there are some people that are laughing at me. I'm sure there are some people that just love to see me kind of give up. But I'm sure there's some other people that probably feel pretty hurt in this, that feel pretty seen, that are feeling pretty similar. And I get it. It's hard. This shit is hard. I have been putting in a good fight for a long time, and I'm going to give it a last go. I got 6 months in me right now, at least the way I'm seeing it, and I'm going to try my best. But damn, it's been tough. I've been kind of fighting this acceptance feeling for quite a few months, since October of last year. So thanks for watching. Appreciate you. And till next time.